way she want now, now. That's the way she, that's the way she want now, now. That's the way she, that's the way she want.
While in Kingston, we went to visit Torch in Trenchtown on the set of his new music video for the single Shining Hope.
Shining up, help on more to go in this cycle of life.
Well, busy, as you can tell. Shining Up just came out, and you know, thinking of some promotions, some ground promotions, hitting some cable stations, you know, some TV stations. As it comes to like radio, you know, thinking of some interviews, you know, thinking of getting the music spread, and also in the streets. It's a different type of music from the regular songs that you would hear in the dance hall, but this message is like so powerful. I think it needs to reach everywhere and reach everyone. And then after that, I'll be looking to probably do a lot of promotion overseas with it also too, because I want to start like a foundation with that. I get into that some more as soon as I pen it out, because you know, when you're dealing with all that type of thing like a charity or a foundation, it takes a lot of groundwork and you have to get it right. So we'll talk about that some more. But after that, we have the big bag song from Wayne Benjamin. I think his label is called Fabricated Nonsense. And we got a wicked track called Rockstar. It will be coming out next. And it's out now on iTunes, so people can go and pick it up. All right, Real Rockstar. All right, so, and then we're planning to do that video. And definitely, that song is going to be hot. That video is going to be hot. People can look out for it. After that, I'll be shooting to America in May. I think Florida, I have Orlando. I'm trying to see if I can get to California too in it. And then after that, I'll be in Canada. And then after Canada, then I have to go to Europe. The way I got the name Torch was when I was at Penthouse. All right, veteran artist Tony Rebel overheard me in the studio I was voicing, and he was like, "Yo, that you there blaze like a torch, you know." You know, at the time I had the name Honeycomb, was causing a bit of confusion in the streets with his brother, that name Honeycomb. So I needed a name change, and it just come right at the time when I needed it. Now the interpretation and the definition of torch is a fire, and it is also a light. So I think it speaks for itself when you see me do some songs like Shining Hope, because that's the light part of me. You know, you have the part where torch burns some fire. All right? Now, about music and how I come about with music now, I wouldn't say like music is an inborn concept, but I did just love music. You can imagine if you love music, what will really come out of it still. So let me see, I can take you from when I was younger. I used to listen to like Bears. Bears was my first cassette, not even CD, but cassette that I got as an album. And then from that, I got introduced to culture. Then it was, I know a little bit of Tony Rebel, Fresh Vegetable and all them songs there from a long time. But I'm talking like albums, like collection. And so I went from that to Luciano, and then it was Burning Spear. And then from that, I started like practicing in the bathroom and, you know, just keep singing songs. And then from that, I developed this craft of trying to like sing like other people. So when I hear a song, I used to like try to sing exactly like it. And that's how I developed my craft. Well, I have some friends from around, because you have like the Ghetto Pinches and you have the Ghetto Sanchez, and you have all of them artists there, so that was in the scheme. So whenever them have like the little beat box, you have one of them component set box there with a mic in it. And then we'll play the cassette with the rhythms, and then you will sing on it. And they would call me and say, "Yo, look, you come sing." All right? Right here when we stand right across from here, right on that road, Crook Street there. I did my first stage show as a juvenile. I was singing a song, one of those popular songs from the JCDC. They used to have this thing called Popular Song back in the days, and the song was called Chiquitita. And I went to the stage and I tried that song, and the song mashed up the place, and you know, from that and start follow it up. And then of course, you know, you have to go to church because you live with mom, so I found myself hanging out with the youths, you know, youth choir and all of that. And then it transcended when I left from primary school. I went to high school. I was enrolled in this group called Persuade, a gospel group. And then after that, I tried out this club called Liquor Peoples and Teen Players Club. It run by Kathy Levy. And I got through when I went to the audition, and then and to me they said I wasn't that advanced, so I needed to learn some, but the basic stuff I knew because once they pressed like the keyboard, I could identify the key. So they said that was great. So that was when I started doing all the vocal training and the classes and all of that. So I have to give some thanks to that group too from a tender age. After I left school, and so I wasn't much interested in singing because tragically my mom died when I was 15. So I was a bit out of it, to be very honest. Waste like practically 1 year of my life doing nothing but sitting and crying, reminiscing and thinking what I'm going to do next with my life. However, two friends of mine, they came, Iceman and the next one named Juki. Them used to go by Black Root Studio up there, right up Robert Crescent. And them come by my house because them remember some used to do a little singing, and so, and them come and them ask what go on, and they be like, yo, take a walk, could we go up to the studio, man, and see if we can sing 2 songs. And I was like, all right, okay, because me never did do nothing at the time. And when I went up there and so by Black Root Studio, and thing, I met a person that came from over Zim, there next door my community, and he was like, come here youth, and he was like, you would have want to learn engineer or something like that. And I was like, and I said, why you take so much interest in me? And I said, I know you because you always come over Zim with your friends, them come sing and so and thing. And so it's a good way to start right here, so by knowing rhythms and all of that. And him tell me say I'm about to go away. So it's a way of making some money also too. And so I was like, okay, all right, great. So the next thing I did, I went the next morning, and then he gave me a chart. We have to start to learn all the Studio One rhythms from the Tickle Media and Dying Love, the Kochi, the Staggerlog, the Answer, the General, all of those, and then you have to learn where to find it. That's the first time I see like DOT cassettes and different machines. So you have to know exactly where the number is, so when you press it, the reel goes straight to that number and play you that rhythm. So that was like my first exercise. And then from there, when I was in the studio by myself, I started voicing myself because I had the opportunity of a studio, and I've learned so much. I've learned how to voice many different people. I've done like sessions for like Ken Booth, Uri, Barry Brown before he died, just to name a few. Yeah, so after that I started voicing myself. At the time, you have an artist named Shalom. He sang that song called I've got news to you, I've got news to you, I'm not in love with you. I'm so over you, through the fire, through the rain, but I live to love again. Yeah, so he was like hot at the time, and he came by the studio door, and I heard like a bang on the door, like, and this person be banging down the door, and when I opened the door, it was him. And he walked right by me, and he went to the box, and he was looking, and he was like, and I said, where's the artist that I heard just singing? And I was like, it was me. And he was like, seriously? He said, you need to leave from around this board right now and be an artist. And he just give me one advice. He said, when you sing, you sound like you're holding on to something. So I can hear your melodies, but not your words. So whatever you're holding on to, just let go and sing. from there I've been singing. Now, if we talk about like performances like with Buju, and so it's all, I have to give thanks to Father Jermaine because it was all a process of artist development when it comes to Buju. So I went on tour and I watched Buju him perform over there, and I see that it was different from what he did over there from when you're at home. So and then I went through some process where I had to know a lot of music. So I would be like in the music store researching a lot of different major artists that was out there, and a lot of greats that I didn't even know that was out there. That was part of the process. And then after I passed that level, then I started performing, like opening a couple stages for Buju Banton. Like the greatest moment of my life was Madison Square Garden, because I heard Kevin Hart talk about it the other day, and he was like, oh, this is like the greatest moment of my life. And I've been there like from like 8 years ago. So yeah, so it's like a blessing and an honor to have been there doing that at the moment. Now, after Buju got himself in trouble, I had to come off the road and started doing like finding my own path. I had to be back in the studio, starting working on some singles with Mr. Jermaine, and then we came up with the first album, which is Torch Ever Burning Flame. He released that album on his account on iTunes, so that was like my first attempt going out there doing some music. Then after that, I ventured off when I met Silly Walks. Yeah, I was running through my mailbox one day and I came across a message that was 3 months old. I didn't even know that they would answer it saying me, but I took the chance and they did. And they told me what they wanted to do. They came to Jamaica and, you know, they laid out some rhythms before me. And that song, Good Reggae Music, it was the last song. There's a confession about that song, but I won't tell nobody. Yeah, because I think Silly Walks would be pissed. But I'm going to say it because I'm going to let some people in. All right? It was actually one of those spontaneous moments where you just say some things, you just went behind a mic and those things just come out, you just say it and it just happened. I didn't wrote that song. They just played the rhythm. All I had was the chorus, I know, because I had the rhythm and I had the chorus, but I was so busy. I forgot that I was supposed to voice that song. So when they called me to voice, I was like, oh shit, I only have the chorus. But I couldn't like skip out because they're not from Jamaica and they were like leaving the other day. So I had to honor my agreement. So I went by the studio and just by vibing, I went in the studio and I just started saying things.
So it was a freestyle?
Yeah, and I got a hit from it.
Nice.
That takes me to different places in the world where I got my chances to like be in Europe like 4 times. On one of the trips, I met up with a gentleman. I didn't even know that he was a fan of my music, and it is so nice to know that like superstars, great superstars like those, you know, they really like your music. There was a show in Hamburg that I was invited to as a special guest artist for the night. It was him and Chronix in concert. However, for some reason, Chronix never called me up at the time. I didn't know. I think it was some time issue or something like that. So it never happened, but he agreed to call me on, and then we rocked the stage together, and then he was like, wicked. And then he gave me location to his place and a number that I could call him because he wanted me to do a song. And that's how we got this song now, this major monster out in the street called Keep On Moving. People can go and check it out on YouTube. Well, Shining Up is one of those inspirational videos. There's a lot of different things out there that needs addressing, all right? Like issues of youngsters, like young teenage girls being pregnant. We have issues like young youths finding themselves wrapped up in gang affair and you know, losing their lives, ending up behind bars, wasting their time typically. I don't know what is the trend or who is the role model that these youngsters are following, but it seems to be wasting their time. So when I sing Shining Up and I said help one more to cope, there's just not those issues only. You have people facing a lot. You have poverty, you have depression, you have stress, you have pain from all different type of reasons that we face in life. And so it's like a collective of all these issues. So I urge people, like how I sing this song Shining Up. I'm trying to be a shining up. I probably can't give you some money, or I probably can't take care of you, like, but if I can give a word each day to a person to uplift them, I will. And if I can give, I'll definitely give. So I urge everyone to be a shining up. Help someone to cope. All right? Never judge a book by its cover, because a lot of people does that. They see a person and they be like, ah, he's no good. And nobody never really like took the time to really like sit with that person and like know that person. So I said, open a book and know what's inside before you judge. Be a shining up. Help someone to cope. Link me on Instagram, Tarch_everburning_flame. It is spelled EVABURNINFLAME. Again, EVABURNINFLAME. That's ever burning flame. 3 words in one. All right. So it's Tarch_everburning_flame for my Instagram. So you go and press that follow button now. All right. For Facebook, it is Tarch Everburning Flame. Just the same for my fan page, it is Tarch the Everburning Flame. My YouTube channel, Everburning Flame Recordings, and that's a wrap.
So come be that shining up, help one more to cope in this cycle of life. Shining up, help one more to cope in this cycle of life.